I'm about to tell y'all the truth this morning, okay? This ain't gonna be just a sweet little video. This is Monday motivation. I am not just making this video for y'all. I'm making this video for me and for anybody out here that needs a pick-me-up. I think it's very important that when I feel inspired to do a video, that I come on here and talk to you all. So give me just a quick second before I get into this message. I'm gonna make sure my audio is good because you guys know how YouTube be. Okay, my audio is good. Let's get it. Okay, and I'm not gonna be sugarcoating this message. So if you're watching this video, make sure you're ready to handle it because I'm really gonna go in. Like usual, I get my ass up super early. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This morning, I woke up so proud of myself, but on the real, I'm not talking about what my parents are giving me because I saw a tweet about inheritance and that's just a blessing. And luckily I'm gonna be, you know what I want, guys? I want lipstick on. I was trying to start this video early, so I put on gloss, and I really want lipstick. Let me go find something to put on my lips, child. 1 second. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I found a gloss for my lips. Child. Good morning, bitch. Good morning. So let's get real, right? Let's get real. And my cute shoes are making a lot of noise. So let me take these things off because it's making too much noise for me in this video. I'm not going to censor myself in this video, y'all. I'm a little pissed off for a lot of reasons. We gonna get into it, right? So here's the thing. I came across a tweet about inheritance and on Twitter. And I was telling people that luckily I can't relate, okay? I can't relate to not having an inheritance. I can't relate to that tomfoolery, okay? Both my parents were immigrants when they came to America legally, by the way. They waited a long time to get their papers. And I'm an American citizen. I'm a dual citizen. I'm an American citizen by naturalization. I'm a British citizen proudly by birth, right? And I was telling people in the comments, how I feel about that topic because funny enough, it came across my timeline. And so not all messages are going to apply, y'all, but I'm not going to censor myself. I'm not going to sugarcoat what I'm saying. So if I say certain keywords that are triggering, oh well, okay? I apologize for now, but the truth is the truth is the truth. And it don't just apply to certain groups of people. Sadly now, I see other groups of people who are degenerates. I'm going to put it just like that. And they're not helping their own people. They don't have nothing for their kids, and it's a damn shame. And I know that as, enlightened people, spiritual people, we don't live just for money. We don't want to live just for making money. But I gotta be real with you all. You know what I'm saying? Amongst all this change in the wind, I actually just watched the astrology report for June. And I was, which we're in June right now. We're basically almost halfway through the year. Practically, can you believe that? And I knew this year was going to go quick, and I knew this year was going to be, I don't want to use the word difficult, but challenging. Yes, challenging. This year is very challenging. There's a lot of elections this year. There's a lot of drama going on in the news and the economy the housing market, the job market is completely upside down, right? That's just the reality. And so I want to just talk real with you all. And like I said, this is not going to be for all audiences. You see what I'm saying? Some people, to me, real recognizes real. So if you're in a fake loony bin, you know what I'm saying, then you're probably not going to get what I'm saying. But if you actually care about your life and your well-being and your family, and if you have kids especially, you should care, you should give a damn, then I'm going to talk real with you all, okay? People don't want to just live for working and making money. I get that, including myself. I don't want to reduce life just to making money, okay? But, okay, the reality is we're in 2024, and the way that I really feel about it, y'all, is that if by 2024, okay, you have not touched a million, or you're not making as close to six figures as you can, by the way, I mean 100K a year, okay, you're in trouble. I'm just telling you straight up like that. You're in trouble, okay? And if it's not you, glory to God, then people around you are in trouble, because that's the way things are going, people. Okay? That's the way things are going. People that have good paying jobs, working extra jobs, extra gigs, getting extra degrees, getting extra certifications. I never thought, and I'm telling you guys the real, right? I never, ever, ever thought in my wildest dreams when I was a little girl, when I was a teenager, that I would have my bachelor's degree, right? I would have all these different things and still go for more and still work as hard as I do. And majority of my day yesterday was just all about my future, and my mom, I was talking to my mother, and she was just like, you're doing so well. She's more on the Christian side of things. I was raised Christian Pentecostal, but I don't claim it. If I had to claim it, I would claim Baptist, but I'm not really into that because I know the truth. So, I don't have the word Christian stamped on my forehead. Okay. What I believe in my heart is what I believe in my heart. It's to benefit me, and it's not for a show or a parade. It's not to be in some clique or some club. That kind of religion, that kind of belief, energy, I just don't subscribe to, right? And especially since a lot of people who claim they're Christian don't believe in, cards, and don't believe in crystals, and don't believe in Reiki, and don't believe in meditation, then I definitely can't relate to that, because all those things have worked tremendously well for me. So I can't relate to that. I cannot relate to being a so-called Christian or God believer and not believing in crystals, not believing in science, not believing in, things that work for me. So if, you know what I'm saying? So if believing in, divine gifts and believing in cards and believing in crystals means I'm not a Christian, then I guess I'm just not a Christian. Simple as that. To somebody else's standard, I mean. But I don't care what people think about me. I'm just saying that if that's the requirement, then I obviously don't meet the requirement that petty people are assigning to me. Because to me, God made all of that. God made astrology, right? God gave people certain spiritual gifts. So I see God in all of that. I see God in crystals. I see God in reading cards. It's the opposite for me, I see the literal manifestation of God's help and divine help and glory through those things. And a lot of people out here that read cards or do astrology or like astronomy. Astronomy is different than astronomy. Clock it. Agree with me. You know what I'm saying? The two are not separate. You know what I'm saying? The two are intertwined, but people that are ignorant don't see that, don't believe that. And that's okay, but I don't subscribe to that. So after my whole conversation yesterday about my future, how much I'm making, going to be projecting to make, where I want to move to. I've not just been on here just talking, just to talk with you all. Okay. I really live this. Like everything that I encourage you guys about or I share with you guys about, like I live it. I don't just do all this. I actually live it. You see what I'm saying? And I have the proof to back it up. Okay. So I woke up this morning, right? I woke up this morning and I'm like, man, I'm stressed because I haven't touched a million. And when I say a million, I mean like a million cash that is not like savings. I mean like just $1 million floating around the air, you know? And the data for Americans came out. I saw it on Twitter and they were saying how like only 18, was it 8 or 18% of Americans when they file their taxes made over $200,000 or no, up to $200,000. People are lying out here, right? Most people have never even touched 200K in their life cash. And that's the reality, okay? So what the fuck I look like over here talking about 200K when I know it sounds crazy, but for me, I'm like, I need to have 100M or 1M or $1 million cash, not to save, not for retirement, not in a bond, not in some insurance policy. No, I'm talking about cash. Like that's what I'm on. I don't know, you know. I think a couple years ago, making 100K or making close to 100K or seeing 100K was like, a big deal. And now I feel like it's a million. I feel like the 100K standard is actually a million. And then I had to stop myself. I had to breathe and I had to stop myself and say, listen, I'm still in my 20s, right? I work incredibly hard. I'm ahead of the game, you know what I'm saying? Even though I don't really believe in the college system, I went to college, you know what I'm saying? I did all this stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, by a certain age, I know what I want to have besides savings, besides retirement. I know what I want to have, but guess what? The patience, right? The patience and the dedication it takes to earn that. You know what I'm saying? For most people, it takes a whole lifetime. For most people, it takes well into their 60s. Most Americans don't have that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? But I think that when you have that kind of mentality of wanting better for yourself and setting, hard goals and hard deadlines, you really can't poo-poo yourself because guess what? I'd rather be over ambitious and have extreme goals that sound ridiculous and almost hit all those goals than have a goal, you know, bare next to the ground and achieve it. I'd rather be the kind of woman who says, yeah, I want to hit 100, I want to hit 100 million is true, but I want to hit $1 million by 35. You know what I'm saying? Of course it sounds crazy. But guess what? That $1 million could manifest in different ways. It could be through earned income. It could be through the lottery. It could be through investments. It could be through a lot of different things. You see what I'm saying? So the way that I see it is why dream small when you can dream big? But here's the kicker though. When you're trying to want better and build upon better, and I will say this, okay? I will say this, and this is for the people out here. I'm gonna keep it real with you. This right here is for the people out here that have sucky ass parents, right? The bum ass parents who don't own shit, don't have shit. A lot of people have bum parents, and it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? And those parents should die. I feel like, why are you a parent, right? I'm just being real with you. I feel like, why are you a parent if your children, your adult children, can't stand on your shoulders and be better than you and have better than what you had and can't build off of whatever you got going on? That's a bum. A bum is somebody who has a low ass mentality, who doesn't care, who doesn't care about inheritance for their kids, who don't care about life insurance for their kids, who don't care about owning nothing. All they want to do is rent. All they want to do is lease cars. You know, by the way, y'all, leasing a car is one of the dumbest things you could do. Straight up. It's a waste of money. Your insurance is going to be high as a giraffe pussy. And it's like one of the easiest ways Americans don't have a savings or don't have enough money, because why? They keep swapping out their car for a more newer car, a newer model, right? And the price only goes up. The price ain't gonna be lower. It gonna only go up, because if you're trading in a 2018 for a 2023 car, it's only gonna go up. And let me tell you, I'm just gonna be real, y'all. I have white neighbors to the left of me, and I thought they were smart. I thought that they were on some real ish. And, you know, I was thinking, okay, maybe they're gonna retire soon, blah, blah, blah. Here they go talking about, oh, leasing cars, honey. That's dumb. Okay. So if you're doing well, you don't need to be leasing a car. You need to be buying a car cash. And your wealth, just so somebody out here can hear this, your wealth is not in your car. For the most part, most cars are depreciating assets, even the luxury cars, depreciating asset. They're not important. They're not special. It's a car to get you from point A to point B to point C to point D. That's it. So if you are, you know, in a cushy spot, or you're doing okay, you don't need to be signing up for things that are gonna be having you waste money and putting you in the negative, or having you overspend for no reason. Okay, let me grab my water, because I bet most people that are out here now talking about this, but guess what? I'll talk about it, because this is what, you know, when I'm not on camera. Let me grab my water from my fridge, child. And yes, I have another fridge. I have a lot of fridges upstairs, but I have a fridge in my own room, because especially in the summertime, this is not the energy to be dehydrated. You see what I'm saying? This is the time to be super hydrated with this kind of weird ass weather. So 1 second, y'all. Make sure my audio is good. Yeah, my audio is good. Great. Awesome. Okay. So here's the catch. Okay. There's people out here that you think are, I'm just telling you to encourage you, okay? That you think are doing well, that you think, let me close this door, that you think are smart, and they're not smart, okay? When you see how they spend money, when you see what they choose to spend their money on, they're not smart, okay? A lot of these discount stores, or these stores that are sometimes European, like Aldi. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just putting this as an example, okay? Like for example, Aldi is it's a European supermarket. And I find it funny how just because of COVID, people realize that they can get a whole, you know, basically 3 times more groceries for half the cost. But they keep running to Publix, they keep running to Walmart, they keep running to Kroger's, wherever the hell else, or Steinmart, where they keep running to all these fancy grocery stores, but then they put in these groceries on credit. You see, Americans, they don't know how to spend their money. Most Americans, they put everything on credit. They can't afford it. And I follow the data, okay? I follow the digits and the data. And when I look around, even social media, I could tell. I can tell when someone really has money, and I can tell when someone don't have any money. It's very easy for me to spot, because the people that actually have money and want to keep their money, their spending habits, where they shop, is not going to be the most luxurious store. Okay. And if they are buying a name brand handbag, it's once in a blue moon, and it's cash. It's not on credit. It's not on payment plans. You know what I'm saying? It's a different mentality. Whereas, sadly, you know what I'm saying, what we see on social media, especially Instagram, I don't even go on Instagram because Instagram is a trap, right? It's all credit. Okay, it's all debt. And I was listening to and also I don't, co-sign his political beliefs. I don't even co-sign his pandemic view. But there's this one guy. I actually am not even gonna say his name. Forget that. I was gonna say his name. I'm not even gonna say his name. He has a radio show. He's Christian. He prides himself on being a conservative Christian. And if you just listen to some of these people that you think are well off, or you listen to these people's phone calls about how much debt they're in, or what expensive car, I saw a TikTok of this lady, this Caucasian lady who went viral because her truck payment is like $700 something dollars, $800 something dollars. I mean, these people are idiots. Okay, that's what you call an idiot. That's what you call idiot, guys. But that's all for show. That's all for appearance, and that's how Americans get down. Like, if my car, I kid you not, guys, on the realest of the real, if my car wasn't almost already paid off, I would have downgraded a lot of years. You know, my car is a 2021, and the only reason why literally the only reason why it's 2021 is because when I went to trade in my car, or to get a car that was more fuel efficient, it was during the peak of the pandemic, you know, and the inventory, as you all know, when the pandemic was at its peak, there was a very, very low inventory due to the factories not, production was slowed down. So a lot of the inventory at these car lots at the time were very low. And truth will have it that, 2021, once again, based upon the numbers I crunch and when I look at the data I look at, right, and the statistics I look at, 2021 was like the last year to get into a lot of stuff at a low percentage rate, right? Like house, car, like that was like the last window for a long time. And I'm not just saying that. Unless something dramatic, I don't know, maybe something really bad will happen in America. I don't know what's down the pipeline. But after 2021, after 2021, we had the housing crisis, mass repos, all types of crazy ish went down. Why? Because it just became simply unaffordable. Whereas in 2021, that was like the last year, like the last physical year that I could see where most costs made sense. It's still expensive, but it made sense. Now it don't even make any sense. Now it don't even make any sense. So I don't know why I feel like saying this, but I'm just gonna say this. Keeping up with the Joneses is gonna have people broke. Okay. Keeping up with the Joneses is for poor folks who want to be rich folks. Don't fall for it. Okay. Don't be, getting your first paycheck or getting all this money. And like I said before, your first thing is to go to some super duper expensive restaurant, or getting these ridiculous bags or ridiculous cars that, if that money was gone tomorrow, you couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z said, if you can't buy something twice cash, you can't afford it. And that, when I first heard that, I said, man, that's a hard financial principle. Like, if you can't afford something twice cash, you can't afford it. Well, that's true tea. If you can't afford something twice cash, then yeah, you probably can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reality that I know, in the spiritual community, what I'm saying, like even in the Christian community, like the word prosperity or wealth or sometimes can have a negative connotation, but I would dare so to say that people that are really about spiritual health, they want you to be well off. They want you to have a financial security blanket, even though it's damn near impossible. I think that people that really care about your well being would also want you to be ahead of the curve. At least that's what I believe. We don't worship money, we don't want to live for money, but sadly, and I really do say sadly, we live in a system where everything runs on money. Everything revolves around money and it's sick and twisted, but it's just the truth. So the whole day yesterday, was me. Well, it's not just yesterday, this has been from the top of the year, was about me, trying to pick out, going back to school for other certifications or other degrees or other associate degrees or whatever that is gonna, quadruple my income, 5 to 10 years out, regardless of YouTube, because YouTube is not, YouTube is something that I do for fun, and getting paid from it is a bonus, and I'm responsible. Whatever I earn from YouTube or any other avenue through YouTube, I'm very responsible. I don't just go and spend it. You know what I'm saying? I try to put it to places that are either a necessity or for my future. I'm not just going out here buying a whole bunch of dumb handbags. I have enough handbags. I was looking at my closet yesterday, I'm like, but all my handbags are paid for. They're not on credit. So it's like the things I buy can be very nice, but I pay it with cash, like 85% of the time. And if it's not cash, then I pay it off. So, my handbags belong to me. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not the kind of person where I'm just, loose with it. And every time I get paid, it's just going to the birds. I don't live like that. You know what I'm saying? And when I was young, my mom, my mom was always very good with saving money and how she makes money or whatever. And when I was young, I would laugh at her, not like rude, but I would be like chuckling because it would just kind of make me laugh. Like, why is she so serious about this? Like, why does she do, why, like you're good, like, why do you do this? And of course, past 25, past 21, oh yeah. And then the pandemic hit. Oh yeah, I totally get it. So thank lucky stars, no parent is perfect. And trust me, they got their flaws. Okay. But when it comes to saving money or investing money or putting money for retirement, oh yeah. I've definitely snatched that trait from her, and I'm like in beast mode because guess what? Especially with YouTube or any other avenue creatively that I do, I'm thinking into my 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in my 20s thinking into my 40s and 50s and 60s. And I'm like, listen, the word retire for me just simply means that I got to a point in my life where the shelter I have, the food I eat is cash. That's all retirement means to me. What retirement means to me basically is that I don't have to punch the clock ever again, right? I have paid off my car. My car's almost paid off already. I paid off, where I live, and I have a cash flow. That's all that retirement means to me. Retirement doesn't mean some, airy fairy thing in the sky that says you can never work again, because that's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an entrepreneur at heart for the right reasons, because I like to help people one on one. I like to do things one on one with no middleman. So that's what I am, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I could be retired, but then I would still be on YouTube. If YouTube even exists, we don't even know if YouTube's even gonna merge into something else. We don't even know if some other company's gonna buy out YouTube, and we don't know. We don't know what the future holds, guys. But it would be a scenario where I was still, you know, find a way to creatively express myself, because regardless of the money, I love doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to get paid to do a reading publicly, because why? I genuinely enjoy it. It's a bonus, but you have to have avenues, you have to have hobbies, you have to have things that feel good, make you feel good, make other people feel good. That's what life is all about. You get some water. How many minutes in? I'm 30 minutes in. Damn, it's like a coaching session or some ish. That's crazy. I thought it was 7 I thought it was 17 minutes on the clock. It's damn near 30. Now almost 40. The next 10 minutes is damn near 40 minutes. That's crazy. The message is, if you fail to plan, and you fail to think ahead, and you fail to have, option B, C, and D, if needed, you know, it won't be pretty. And every single subscriber of mine, every single viewer of mine, every single person who's so kind to thumbs up my videos and support me and like what I have to say and like me as a person, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes to show how amazing you are, because I only have winners on my channel. You know what I'm saying? I only have people who push the envelope on my channel. That I know for a fact. I only have subscribers who are intelligent, who are, innovators, and people who are go-getters. I don't have people who just want to, leech off the government. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that kind of crowd. I have a crowd of people who want more out of life. And especially if you have kids, I know you want more out of life. And, you know, being a woman with no kids, like, to me, this is like beast season. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that, and especially, men really don't get it, and society really don't get it, but, they tend to underestimate how much advantage there is, you know what I'm saying, to not having children. Like, if you want to have children, great, but I'm saying, like, in the season of your life when you don't have children, is when I feel like you should really be trying to, maximize your income, travel as much as you can. I've even had relatives tell me the same thing, as like, because the reality is, once a baby comes into the picture, things do tend to change, and, your life is never going to be the same. So I just think that I take it very seriously. It's like, I can't control any of that. I can control who I pick. I can control who I'm in a relationship with, but the timing of things, and boom, bada bing, down to its molecule, we don't really have control over that. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a young lady watching me and you don't have children, or even if you're a mature lady, even if you're a mature lady and you don't have children watching me, okay, for your benefit, for your best interest at heart, okay, you should be trying to, quadruple your income, because it's only going to be to your benefit. Like, think about it. Getting your life together, getting your life in order, having back debt. Oh, sorry, somebody was calling me, and then let me make sure the timer is coming back, y'all. Okay, the timer is back. Yeah, someone called me. Let me put my thing on Do Not Disturb. One sec. Yeah, someone called me, but I'm in the middle of a video, so I'll call them back. But what I'm saying is, there's no downsides to being picky when it comes to partners, romantic partners. There's no downside to having more than enough. You know what I'm saying? And being able to kick up your feet. There's no downside to paying off your house or paying off your car early. There's no downside to that, There's no downside to a lot of simple things that people overlook. And I think that in a lot of cases, what I've realized is people's spiritual health a lot of times, can be dampened can be, oppressed and suppressed due to their, life not going their way. That's another hard truth of life is like, it's one thing to be, super, super spiritually attuned, but then if every day you're living in hell and you're not able to do for yourself and you're not able to, get things done, then your quality of life is like probably not the best. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to put a message out here that, if you're going through a difficult season, which the whole world is really kind of in a recession, to be frank with you. But if you're in a season where you can't seem to get a grip, or you feel like you're losing yourself, or you feel like things are not going right in your life, I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind me. I'm here to remind all of us as an extra boost on a Monday morning that it is possible. You know what I'm saying? It is possible to shock yourself with how well you do. And it's possible to start over if you have to start over. For those of you out here where maybe you got a divorce or whatever, and you got to start from scratch. Let me tell you, anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Okay? Anything is possible if you put your mind to it, period. But you got to get back up. After you cried, after you've sulked, after you've been stressed out, after you've been having heart palpitations, after you've been, down and out, at some point you gotta get up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up, because if not, life is gonna keep beating you. People are gonna keep, hopefully not physically, people are gonna keep beating you, and you're not gonna feel like a winner. You're gonna feel like a loser. You're gonna feel like your back is against the wall. And we've all been there. We've all been there. But what I'm saying is, don't stay there. For God's sake, don't stay there. If you want to make 100,000 plus a year, you want to make $1 million a year, get busy. Yes, the money system is rigged. Yes, the money system is bullshit. Of course it is. Of course it is. You know, people having equal opportunity. We know that's not real. We know that's not real. Okay. But even with my own situation, the way that I see it is, where there's a will, there's a way. You know what they say? If there's not a table to sit at, you make your own table. You know what I'm saying? I've watched way too many videos and I'm just putting this out here because it's important. I've watched way too many videos from, you know, so-called Black people, is what what the term is, that are, didn't come from a good family, or didn't have, they're not a trust fund baby. They're not a Nepo baby. You know what I'm saying? And they're multimillionaires. So especially for those out here that look like me, you look like me, or, you're of an ethnic background or whatever, get inspired. You know what I'm saying? Seek it out. If you don't have it in your immediate circle, you don't have good role models, okay, which a lot of people don't have good role models, even if they're not ethnic. I mean, it's, a shortage of good quality people is running low in this world, but seek it out. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait for it to come to you. Seek it out. You know what I'm saying? Begin to get creative. Go on Google. You know what I'm saying? Go on Google and get creative, and, shoot some emails, walk in person, get some books, go to the library. One thing I pride myself on is, even when I was in college, even high school, I just always had a habit of going to the library. Didn't even have to for a particular reason. I bring my own laptop, bring my own cell phone, but like whatever subject you want to learn, there's libraries for free that you can walk in any library and check out any book, even extend when the book is due, rent the book, what I'm saying, on any subject you want, from entrepreneurship to politics to the economy to, hand skills like sewing and mechanics and whatever else is out there. It's limitless. And, if you don't come from good stock, or, sadly your parents have let you down, which most people's parents have, like, you've had just you've been dealt a bad hand, you're worth more than that. I really wanna say to you, like, you deserve better. You deserve better, and it's not your fault that you didn't have what you're supposed to have. Most people didn't get what they were supposed to get. They didn't get the information, they didn't get the inheritance, they didn't get the emotional support, financial support. You know, a lot of people didn't get that, some more than others. But what I'm saying is, don't let that be your life story. If you got divorced, you have, difficult upbringing, you know, I'm begging you, okay? I'm literally begging you, don't let that be the end. Had a kid out of wedlock by mistake, you know what I'm saying? Like, chose the wrong father, chose the wrong mother for your children, whatever it is, like, don't let that be the end of your story, okay? Don't take on that trauma, because it is trauma and misfortune, as your identity, okay? Don't don't buy into this hype that your life is over because somebody made a mistake or because you made a mistake. You know, that doesn't have to be your story, okay? So stop trying to keep up with people that can't afford their own lifestyle. Get debt free if you can. Besides your investments or your business, at least on the necessities, get debt free, get as close to debt free as you possibly can. I'm saying? Stay focused, have a plan, and execute it. I'm saying? Have multiple plans if you need to. Have backup plans if you need to. I know people don't want to hear that, but some people's first ideas or first plans don't always work out. I'm saying? Some people, I remember I would hear people every now and then that have gone to school for something. When I say school, I mean college/university for something. And then, they did it out of peer pressure. They did it out of, not thinking clearly. And then they finish their degree and they don't even want to work in their field. It's rare. Probably nowadays it's not that rare, but back in the day it was kind of rare. But now it's like people do it all the time. So I know, when it comes to manifestation, people want to talk about having only one plan. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, some people, depending upon their circumstance, they need to have backup plans because the first plan may not work, and that's reality. And because I love you guys and I love myself, I'm telling you the truth, okay? If, like I said, if your projected path is not bringing in close to 100K cash, no qualms, no loopholes, you got to figure something else out, because the way that the cost of living is nowadays, or especially in America, um it's not looking good. You see what I'm saying? And getting married is not the answer. You know what I'm saying? Going into a bunch of debt is not the answer. The answer is cash flow. Period. The answer is cash flow. The answer is having your own abilities, your own skills to stand on your own 2 feet and make your own money. That's the reality. Because people get married all the time, they don't have a prenup, and they lose everything. Okay, or the person is a serial cheater. They were perfect one day and the next day they're a serial cheater. And you don't want to be tied to a serial cheater. It's not going to happen for everybody, but I'm just saying, you don't want to be depending upon anybody. Okay, like, especially women. When you're young, society's done a good job of brainwashing women to stay in poverty, literally. Society's done a great job with training most women to be lap dogs. And this is why they don't have their own of anything, because they follow the hype and, sadly, the conditioning that a man is their escape plan. And if 2024 hasn't shown women that men are not your escape plan, they're not your financial boost, then you've been sleeping, okay? Because most of these men don't want to take care of nobody but themselves. And they have the right to leave. If they don't want to be with you, they can leave you tomorrow. And so if you don't have no backup, you don't have nothing for yourself, you're gonna be either homeless or you're gonna be living bad. So, you know, once I crossed over 25, what I'm saying, I used to be that kind of girl that was like, didn't really understand, like why people are so into, you know, being able to support yourself, because you don't really understand. And then when you have your own, and you're going up in years, and with up in years, and you got more wisdom, you have more knowledge, you realize how important it is. Because the thing is that if you give the person the power to feed you, they have the same power to starve you. And that was something that I heard, I think, when I was like maybe 24. And it hits home for me. You give the person the power to feed you, they have the power to starve you. And the same thing goes for employers. Okay, your employer may be feeding you, but if that meal ticket is taken away, guess what? If you ain't got backup, you don't have other skills, you don't have another job opening, guess what? You starving. That's the reality. So when we talk about manifestation, or we talk about financial independence, or we talk about financial responsibility, spiritual responsibility, it's not about not going after your dreams and not going after your goals, because it's all well and good. But we're in a different age. We're in a different time in the world, guys, where you got to be like laser focused. You got to be so focused on what makes sense and what is just fluff, air fluff, bonus, because like I said, if you're chasing things that are depreciating assets, and you're chasing people that can switch up on you, and they will, okay, there's no return of investment on that. And I hate to be that kind of person, but I gotta be real, because a lot of people don't get it. What I'm saying? Like I look around, I'm like, a lot of people don't get it, and this is why they don't have nothing, because nobody loves them enough to tell them the truth. I like, nobody loves these women enough to tell them the truth. But because I love you guys and I love myself, I'm gonna give you guys my own perspective. Take it or leave it. I'm just gonna tell you what I see, what I know. What I'm saying? What just makes sense. And yes, you should be thinking of, okay, if this job, you know, doesn't work out, where is your next job gonna come from? Where's your next paycheck? I mean, everybody should be thinking that way. If like, it's just wisdom. It's not being ignorant. It's just wisdom. Like, and that kind of thinking right there has saved me. What I'm saying? Me thinking ahead, oh my God, has definitely benefited me. So I know for a fact, if that kind of thinking has benefited me out of the claws and the jaws of the enemy and out of the pit of despair, then I know it can save you. I know that kind of thinking can definitely save you. So we got to get busy. What I'm saying? Like, we're halfway through the year. People deserve the best quality of life possible. That's my belief. And if your current reality, your current job, your current income is not good enough for you, then strive for more. What I'm saying? Begin to research, begin to carve out 30 minutes to an hour of your day every single day, working on your dreams, working on how you can increase your income, ethically, like in a decent way, not a crazy way, right? Um, that's just wisdom. That's just wisdom. It's like you see these athletes out here, they break their ankle, they have a permanent injury, their money is over. Unless they've had businesses, or they've had sponsorships, or they've been able to diversify their money, if they stopped playing ball today, their money would dry up. You know what I'm saying? But the people that have injuries, like I'm just speaking in general, the people that have injuries or they don't want to keep playing a sport, if they did the right thing with their money, with their talent, with their skill set, they wouldn't have to pick up another ball again. They wouldn't have to pick up another racket, another whatever, ever again. Football, whatever. They wouldn't have to do it because when they had the energy and they had the youth and they had the time to organize themselves, they were able to maximize their skill set without having to actually punch in the clock or show up to a tournament or show up to a match, show up to a game, because your body can only go so far. That's why a lot of financial coaches nowadays, I see when they talk about athletes, they talk like that because it's true. The day they stop playing that sport, if they're smart, they would ask themselves, where is that money going to come from? Because if the only way you make money is by shooting a ball and you get an injury, well, then you're up shit's creek. So that's what I'm talking about is you got to have your own back. You can't wait for your parents, your ex, your spouse, your twin flame, your soulmate. You can't wait for people to tell you what you need to find out for yourself. Because if I was a kind of woman, guys, I'm just being honest with you. If I was the kind of woman that waited for people's approval and waited for people to validate my financial goals and my life, I would have definitely have not even got, achieved, or earned half the shit that I have. Like, really. My life would have looked completely different right now if I fell victim to all that scapegoat shit. Like my life would, yeah, I wouldn't have anything of my own if, I bought into that hype of, leech on a man, go find a man to support you. And then you have no money of your own and you have to do tricks and flips like a prostitute to keep him. That's like the lowest of the low. No offense, but like to me, that is like, you're basically a prostitute then at that point, because that's what prostitutes do. That's what strippers do. You know what I'm saying? They tease and they sexually, entice men to survive. That is like the lowest of the low. If you have to depend upon somebody's likability for you in a sexual manner to eat, to pay rent, to have a mortgage, you're in big trouble. And I want every young lady to hear me. You are in big trouble if that is your life plan in life. If your plan in life is to trick a man to take care of you, you're in big trouble. And you know what? I'll leave it there. There is enough women on this planet. There is heaps and oodles and noodles of women on this planet that I've already shown why you shouldn't do that. And it may be hard to accept, but they've already shown you financially and otherwise why you should never take that route because it does not end well. It does not end well. It's better to be able to buy and do whatever you want than to have to depend on a person, And even in those cases, there's people out here where that person's spouse passes away, and if they're not responsible, they may not have life insurance. They may have not they may have not owned a property. So, back to square one they go, what I'm saying? So all that was for nothing. What I'm going to say is this, right? Anything that you invest in that doesn't have a return rate of guarantee rate of investment back to you is a scam. It's a scam. It's a waste of money or it's a scam. Like even cars, how most cars depreciate in value. You're paying for the car 3 years, 5 years, some even more, Why should the value of the car go down? Well, it goes down because based upon their little calculator, more miles, more this, more that, doesn't always equal the same value, if not higher, the car. Now, some cars, I think, hopefully, can give you back what you paid all those years, but most of the time it don't. So think about it. Is that a good investment? Not really. Not really. So you shouldn't be paying no crazy amount of money for a car knowing that most cars depreciate. Okay? So everything is a calculated risk. It's not about saying no, no, no. It's just about being real with yourself. Okay, especially as a woman, it's about being real with yourself and asking yourself, okay, what is the return of investment? You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself that. Besides, I'm saying pen and paper. What is the return of investment? That's all. So I love y'all. That's the message. I got my morning fix by talking to y'all, by encouraging y'all, by encouraging myself. Um, it's important, and it's just crazy. I think it's just absolutely insane how many women and men, you know, don't have this kind of information, and it's not their fault. A lot of times people just had a shitty childhood, or they have sucky parents. They have, like I said, they're not dealt the best hand. Most people get dealt a hand in life that is very difficult. And what I'm saying is it's up to us to get up. You can get knocked down by life 100 times, but when you get back up, when you've proven yourself you can get back up, you've won. And you are gonna win. The more you get back up and you move on and you move up and you begin to see things in your life get better and better and better and better, you've won. As long as you can put your head down at night and you could sleep without any worries in the world and knowing you've done your best, and when it's time for you to retire, you've done what you're supposed to do. Okay, that's all that matters. Okay, adding kids and all that stuff to the mix is naturally going to make your life more stressful. So if you are going to entertain having kids, or you already have kids, well, y'all are in a whole different league of your own, because being a parent and having to take care of people and other mouths to feed, that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of stress. And you know that kind of role, or position, takes a person that hopefully is responsible. But based upon what you see out here and the data would show otherwise. The data shows that most parents ain't shit. So what I'm saying is, if you gonna be a parent and you're gonna be feeding all these different mouths, and you know that you know the marriage may or may not last, I can only hope and pray to God that you've done what you need to do to secure your own future. Because a lot of people live in Lululand. They don't even have, they've never had even a job. I mean, I keep telling y'all, but it's the truth. Some women especially have never worked a job in their life. They go from man to man, dick to dick, and they have nothing to show. They have earned literally nothing. So what I'm saying is that kind of life is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. And if no one gonna tell you out here, I'm gonna tell you, because I've seen enough women cry. I've seen enough horror stories on social media to know that that's not the life for me. Like, if God has somebody for me and wants to, and that's just my destiny, what I'm saying, to be coupled up. Okay, well, I'm still gonna hold on to my values. I'm still gonna want a prenup. I'm still gonna want to have my own money. I'm still gonna, I mean, that would take a lot for me to do that, because when you merge yourself like that, you merge your credit score, you merge your money, and that doesn't sound very smart to me. What I'm saying? If I've done so well for myself, I don't I don't care about lip service. What I'm saying? Like, that would require a lot for me to even agree to that, because I think it's very risky. But Like I said, everything in life is a calculated risk. Like I just said to you guys, everything in life is a calculated risk. So make sure that whatever you're investing in, whatever you're punching in, you're clocking out, whatever you're doing with your time, make sure it's benefiting you, especially women, especially b- black and brown women. I'm talking to you especially. Make sure, okay? Make sure that it benefits you. Because if any job, if any employer, if any person decides to switch up on you, you will still have everything that you have and that you in the lifestyle that you have because of you, not because of them, because of you. What's better than that? What is better than that than being able to keep your same lifestyle and keep doing what you want to do? Because why? You secured your future. So, I was when I was hanging out with some family last week, and I have a lot of aunts. I have a lot of family, and one of my aunts was like, "You're so young." Like you're so young. Like I said to her, I don't feel young. I mean, physically I do, but I'm saying mentality wise, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because been there, seen it, done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen the horror stories. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the horror stories. We all have. Majority of us have. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be repeating people's mistakes that people I think should have learned from. I think that we all should have learned from, you know, other people's mistakes by now. Social media has blessed us with the ability to hear people's quite frankly sob and horror stories. I mean, it sounds kind of funny, but it's really not. Like, social media has given us the ability to listen to people's sob stories. You know what I'm saying? And if they're smart, and if they're good, decent people, they will tell you what to avoid. you know they'll tell you what red flags to not just with relationships, with everything in life. They will tell you, listen, that's not a good decision, that's not what's in your best interest. And if you're smart, you will take heed, you will listen, not just keep doing this, you will actually listen and put two and two together and say, okay, wow, all right, that's interesting. And you move accordingly. You move according to the knowledge and the wisdom and the insight and the information that you gain. That's what intelligent people do. Okay. If you want to be a multimillionaire, you're going to study other multimillionaires. If you want to have a successful marriage, okay, you may try to take advice from people who have, so quote unquote, successful marriages. Okay, that's how it works. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Whoever has the power to feed you has the power to starve you. And that goes way deeper than just a partner or an employer. That's life. That is like law. So make sure